And hello there. So we're going to start off by blessing our space. And I have some, um, I always call it dragon's blood, but it's tiger's blood, right? Or vice versa. It's dragon's blood.
Dragon's blood.
I
The
always call it
cleansing,
tiger's blood because the tigers was the Chinese bomb, the tiger bomb. And I get the two confused. And so I release any negative energy and limiting beliefs about money into the divine light. And I embrace my limitless abundance. Ashe. We're going to take some breaths. Take a moment to find a comfortable seated position, seated or grounded, wherever you are. Root firmly into your feet if you're standing, root into your sit bones. If you are sitting, gently close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Take a deep inhale, exhale. Next inhale, try to go for 4 counts. As you exhale, release any tension and stress you may be holding. One more deep inhale. Continue to breathe rhythmically and repeat these affirmations in your mind. I release all limiting beliefs about money. With each breath, I feel myself becoming more connected to the vibration of abundance. I am grateful for the abundance that surrounds me. I am aligned with the energy of abundance and effortlessly attract wealth. Abundance expands in all areas of my life. On your next inhale, visualize yourself surrounded by a golden light of prosperity. Feel its warmth and abundance flowing through every single cell of your body. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and remember to carry this sense of abundance and gratitude with you throughout each and every day. Ashe.
Ashe.
All right, that was wonderful.
That was good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's present our screen. Okay, hello and welcome again. This is the redo for Spiritual Home, Feng Shui, and Money Altars. We are so happy to have you here, and I will go ahead and get started. So we are your co-hosts, Tiki Andrews. I am Danny Sinclair. I am a holistic interior designer. My journey along this path, excuse me, let me drink a little water. Sorry. My journey along this path of holistic interior design began with a few different careers. I have a background in architecture. I had a career in corporate trade and event design for a decade, and being in that fast-paced industry really created a burnout for me, and it created a sense of I was at a mental breaking point. I i i popped off on somebody, and I was the yoga instructor at the corporate office that popped off on somebody. Like, I was thinking about that. Like, that's crazy. Like, your yoga instructor popped off on you. So after that happened, I went online and I booked a retreat to Nicaragua. And when I got to this beautiful volcanic beach and meditated and ate amazing vegan foods for 7 days, I sat with the universe and I asked, what is it that I'm supposed to do? Because this life is not serving me. This is not leading me into any purpose or intention. And the universe responded, you're doing it. It's yoga and design. And I was like, okay, didn't quite understand what that meant in that moment. But then later, when I was viewing the other tourists at the resort, I was seeing all the other people who were around, and everyone was there to escape their realities, to escape their everyday life, to escape their hustles, to escape their jobs, their relationships, their families, what have you. Everyone was just there to escape what was going on and to rejuvenate themselves. So in that moment, I realized that I wanted to create spaces that would help people to have supportive, nurturing, uplifting environments within their own home space, so that they would never need to leave their home in order to experience this sense of retreat within themselves. And the retreat lives within us, but we just have to be able to access those tools. So to give people who may not have the means of escaping, or the time or the space or the energy to do so, and allowing us to really begin to uplift ourselves, to balance ourselves, to harmonize our inner selves and our interior selves. So with this, I use Feng Shui, I use yoga, I use tarot, I use Reiki, color therapy, and I use all of these different modalities to bring into the interior space in a way that is personalized, really hones in on the blocks that you are experiencing, and creates a space that can uplift, support, and co-create with you, because that's what your home should be doing. It should be nurturing and co-creating. And with that, I have met an amazing spiritual intuitive therapist who has led me along my tarot journey, Tiki's Tarot Academy. If you guys don't know about it, you should definitely get involved, because it has definitely expanded my spirituality and gotten me more in tune with the energetics that are within a space where I may not be able to physically be in a space. I can tap into my client's energy using that tool. So with that, I will allow you, Miss Andrews, to introduce yourself.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, I'm Tiki. I'm originally from New York City. I am someone who is a third generation intuitive, and I have found myself on this journey, a former classroom teacher for over 7 years. I might too have had that walkout moment, like, what has happened? I walked out of the classroom and said, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. So now I'm 718 to 702, and I'm full-time immersed in using my spiritual and intuitive gifts in many multifaceted ways. And creating altars and stimulating abundance in the home is something I'm very grateful. I thank you, Danny, for inviting me to share this space with you, to even speak about this topic. But I guess we would call it the alternative way to channel or manifest or bring in or call in abundance in your home. So I'm grateful to have this opportunity to, again, share this facet of my multifacet. As Danny mentioned, I also teach tarot and offer a lot of different services. And calling in abundance is definitely a priority amongst us all, because money is a tool to be used for many different things, for our freedom, to go and explore. It's just in so many ways. So call it into your home, and I'm happy to be here to share my insight and my take on what we can do to do just that, to bring that energy into our homes.
Thank you. That's lovely. I love that. And with that, let's get started. So, what will you learn from this course? You will have an introduction into Feng Shui, an introduction into altars and how to create your own, and be given some intuitive integrations in how to apply those to your personal space. So, what is spirituality at home? So, this whole sense of holistic energy, new age energy is not something that is new at all. These are practices that have been going around for thousands and thousands of years. They were prevalent in ancient African, Chinese, and Indian traditions. They may have been called different names, but it's all the same messages, all the same teachings. When we talk about energy, we talk about flow, we talk about chakras and chi and vibes. This is what your intuition is. This is what you can into and dial into when something feels off. So what does it mean when something feels off? It could be a temperature change. Is it too cold? Is it too hot? Does it make you want to hunch your shoulders like for protection? And does it feel heavy? Does it feel damp? Does it feel tingly? Does it make your body get goosebumps or the back of your neck get prickly? These are all instances of your intuition kicking in and saying, hey, something's not right here. The energy is a little off, so we need to realign this energy. Do you have anything to add about diving into your intuition, Tiki?
Intuition is that trusting your gut, that gut instinct, that inner knowing. Sometimes when it comes to intuition, we're not. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the presentation on my laptop over here. That's why I'm kind of looking this way. I'm looking over the notes that we have on the spirituality at home. But intuition is that inner knowing. Sometimes we have to separate fear from intuition and separate if it's in our head. How do we really know what's what? Intuition lives in the gut, and that would be sacral chakra as well. Root chakra, sacral chakra, trusting that inner knowing, your intuition.
I love how you brought up the fear versus the intuition, because that's something I think we all, well, I know myself, especially recently, have been dealing with. It's like, how do you know when it's your anxiety and your fear kicking in versus this is a calm knowing within me, this is a message, this is my intuition, versus just like that urge to fight or flight. It's definitely like a more calm, cool, and collective knowing
Yes.
versus anything with emotion. I feel like when it's intuition, there's literally no emotion tied to it. It's just like,
and no urgency. It's just like, it feels like in flow, just feels natural.
Absolutely.
And I was looking for my pins. I definitely want to share that again. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I feel like that could be another whole other class. So yeah, look out for that one,
Mm.
people. Um, so yeah, the idea of manipulating energy in ancient practices by ways of Reiki, acupuncture, yoga, polarity, astrology, reflexology, aromatherapy, hydrotherapy, healing baths, these, healing herbs. None of this is new. None of these are new practices. These practices have been indoctrinated in us since day one. These are thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. They're not pagan practices. These are rituals that have been known to free our spirits, uplift our body, heal ourselves, and have holistic values. And so I have the 7 principles of Ma'at, and I just wanted to link that because I feel like the principles of Ma'at are very similar to the principles of Feng Shui. And those are truth and justice, order, harmony, balance, propriety, and reciprocity. So having all of these principles within your space, within your home, within your body, that creates balance and harmony and ease. At the end of the day, we're just trying to find ease. Next slide. Okay, so what is Feng Shui? So Feng Shui, I am learning as the more that I deal with clients is that many of us think we know what Feng Shui is, and we have misinformation because of what's out circulating in the inner webs about Feng Shui. And so Feng Shui literally means wind and water. It is the manipulation of the energies in our natural environment. The science of Feng Shui is rooted in architecture, astronomy, physics, and design. It's based on the year that you were born. So in that sense, it's a little bit like astrology. It follows the Chinese lunar calendar. So if you were born in January up until February 5th, the year that you were born would actually be the prior year. It is about the internal and external environments of what's in yourself and what is in your external world, your home, your space, as above, so below, and the movements with the solar system. I like to say that Feng Shui is very similar to astrology in the sense that you can keep diving into it more and more and more, and you'll never have a finalized answer. You can just keep on improving, on learning more, keep diving in and getting better. But there is not going to be any one way that is set and blanket, and you will always have to be doing more and more things to keep the process going. Just as, in astrology, you have your sun sign, which most of us know are sun signs, but maybe less of us will know what our moon and our rising signs are. And then very few people are going to know the planets and the houses that the planets sit in. When you ask them that, they're just going to look at you like you're talking completely different language. So that's Feng Shui. It's energy that is building upon, and it can go deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's a never-ending science. And so within Feng Shui, you can determine your most favorable and least favorable locations within any environment. And that's based upon the direction of your internal self, based on the year that you were born, and your space that you're currently living in, the year that your home was built, and the direction that it's built in. So cheap.
Wow, the year that your home was built as well.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It goes deep. It goes deep. It really there's always more to know. So like I was saying about, it's like finding out what your house is and where your planet sitting in your house. It's
Wow.
literally like, where does your house sit? Where was it built? What year was it built? All of that comes into play.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Because your house may just be inherently, well, we'll talk about that. We gonna get
Yes, I'm sorry, but that's just, I'm gonna take notes on that too. Okay, I'm muted.
there. Yes. Okay, so I like to say that chi is well, I don't like to say chi is the life force energy. It is prana, as we know in yoga. In prana, we consider our breath to be prana, that breath work, but it's the air that we are breathing. The prana is the movement of the air. So feng shui is kind of like the movement of the energy. And energy is, it is what it is within our environment. It's energy, it's currents, it's magnetic fields that already exist. And the chi is what follows the flow of the air. So it flows like water, it flows in the wind. It is, when you think about air, I think a lot of us think about wind and the movement of the wind, but the wind is the actual movement that carries the air. This is why it's always important to open your doors and windows so that you can allow the movement of the air to flow through your home so that it doesn't sit in stagnation. And so when you're thinking about chi in your home, I like to say, think about the flow of water. And I'm going to say again, don't think about, oh, my dishwasher broke and there's water all over the floor and it's flooded. This is more like a contained stream. So it's fluid, it's flowing. It has a form, but you can't form it. So if you walked around your home and imagined yourself being a stream, what do you run into? Are there blocks? Do you have to go around different objects and pieces of furnishings? Is it just, do you get pooled in some areas? Is there anything to redirect that pool into other areas? There should ideally not be any blockages in your home. You should always have a steady stream of energy and movement. And in corners, we like to put plants or something that is going to uplift the energy so that it's not a dead area. Chi, it disperses when it runs into wind, the air, fan, movement, and then it ceases when it meets with water. So any sort of water feature, water fountains. I know one practice is to keep water, like bowls of water in the corners of your homes, because it's going to collect that stagnant energy in your home, and then you can do away with that water. So what is yin and yang? So yin yang is the two primal energies of the universe in an endless to and fro movement of balance and perpetual change. There is not a beginning, there is not an end. The symbol of the yin yang has to look like this, where the larger head of the tailspin is flowing in a clockwise direction. If the tailspins are going in the other direction, then that's going to be more of negative energy. It's not supposed to go that way. So a lot of the images when I was pulling, they're all flipped. A lot of the images are showing the yin yang in the wrong direction. It has to be going in clockwise direction for positive change. That's the way our Earth axis moves. That's the way the solar system moves. You can't go in the opposite way. The small dots is the black is yin, the white is yang. The black is a little bit of yin and yang, and the white is a little bit of yang within yin. So this is indicating that there is a constant interaction between the two. They are distinct and individual, but at the same time, they are inseparable. And here are a list of adjectives and elements that indicate you may be within yin or yang. Yang energy it's a masculine energy. It's denoted by the color white. It's active, it's hot, it's heat, it's summer. Like right now we're in the heat of July. This is the most active, most yang. People are out barbecuing, having parties, working hard. It's a very yang energy time of the year in the summer. It's denoted by the daytime, the sun, the fire, wind. In terms of furnishings or decor elements, it's straight lines, it's angular shapes, it's bright colors, lights, wood, glass, stone, marble, tile. It's very minimal. If you think most men tend to go towards that like industrial, like the very straight lines, the metals, the wood, very clean, very minimal. Then they get a girlfriend and she's like, it's too cold in here. You got to put some fluffy pillows and some throw pillows and liven the place up a lot. But guys don't tend to not need a lot. They're we call them basic, but it's just minimal. The energy is very ambitious. It's courageous. They're extroverts. It's exciting, adventurous. And then signs of being in yang is anger, restlessness, frustration, violence, inability to relax, headaches, insomnia, addictions, and constant stimulation. So if you are experiencing any of these within your life, that means that there is something that is out of balance within your inner self, and you need more yin to balance out your environment. And on the opposite end of that, yin is represented by black. It's a feminine energy. It's passive, it's cold, it's damp, it's winter, it's death, it's night, it's moon, it's water. The shapes are curvy and flowing, dark colors, rugs, really plushy, soft. Think in the wintertime, you just want to like snuggle in a cozy blanket and relax and get heat. It's maximal. It is the emotions are associated with wisdom, imagination, peacefulness, introversion, relaxation, satisfaction, persistence. And a sign of excess is oversleeping, overthinking, slow thinking, laziness, compulsiveness, lack of motivation, apathy, overeating, and weight gain. So if you're experiencing any of these in your area, in your lives, then it's a sign that you need to bring in more yang elements and yang activities, yang elements within your home that is going to balance out yourself. The elements are fire, water, metal, wood, and earth. So when you combine the yin and yang energies with the qi together, that creates the elements. So fire elements are represented with bright colors, reds, orange, yellows, candles, lamps, lighting, electricity, heat. Water is cooler colors like blues and blacks, ponds, swimming pools, fountains, lakes, aquariums. Metal is copper, silver, gold, iron, and bronze. Wood, many people confuse wood with the actual wood furnishings, but because wood furnishings is actually it's a dead element, it's not considered wood. That would be considered more like earth because it's dying, it's decaying. Wood is it's plants. It's shrubs, it's trees, it's flowers, it's grass, it's anything that is going to inspire liveliness and growth and vitality. It's the color green, like golden yellow. And then earth energy is mountains, rocks, bricks, stones, terracotta, actual dirt, anything that is, clay, all of those elements. So in Feng Shui, you actually use all of these elements in cycles to balance one another out. So if you have too much fire, you would think you would use water, but you don't want to add water to fire because it'll sizzle it out. You actually want to smolder it out. So you would use earth, because if you put, dirt on a campfire, it smolders it out. The water creates smoke. So there is a distinct cycle of how to use the energies to balance one another out. And there are productive cycles, and there are also destructive cycles. So like I said, water and fire is destructive. You really don't want to do that unless there are certain situations where you do, but most cases you want to do a more productive cycle so that you are instilling balance and harmony within your space. And so this is the area where we calculate your gua. I'm going to run through it quickly. So I'm going to put my birthday in. It is the 31st of July. It's my birthday month. And 1982. And my gua is 6. I belong to the West group. So the West group is yin, because the sun rises on the east and it sets on the west. So any groups that belong to the East groups have yang energy, and any other groups that belong to the West groups have yin energy. I'm just going to read mine. So it says, you are gifted with the intuition that allows you to see what is behind people's head. You need to live in a world of justice and order. You like to dominate all situations in life, a bit rough. You're in fact very comprehensive, as long as your loved ones make you believe you're the deciding one at home. Because I am in charge. Everybody knows that. My element is metal. My season is autumn, and my colors are white and metallic. My direction is northwest, and the direction I should avoid is south. And that's because south is the most yang of energies. It's the most fire. It's the most sun. And fire melts metal. It turns it into a liquid, which in turn would actually be, in Feng Shui, it turns back into water. So you can, once you understand what your gua is, you have the energy that you were born with. So this might not necessarily be the energy that you have today in this moment, but this is the energy that you should try to attune yourself with, and to get back into, your balanced state. It's like back to your core self, your essence. Go back to okay. There we go. Do you want to do yours, Tiki, or are you good? Because it read you.
No, that's okay. I mean, unless you want to put.
No, it's okay. All right. Okay. So now I will give the floor to you.
Okie dokie. So we are looking at spiritual tools and looking at different things you can add into the home to bring forth that abundance. Today we're looking at altars and placing, what is an altar? Let's start there. An altar is a designated space that you decide is a purposeful space which has some significance to you. You've designated this special space with the intention to bring in whatever it is you want to bring forward. It can represent seasons. It can represent an element. It can represent any type of energy you want to bring into your home. You can get in depth and dive into it into any spiritual practice. But for this sake, there is no heaviness with it. Their objects are not worshipped or they're not seen to be. I like how this is. They're not idols. They can represent spiritual entities, but they're not doing the work. They're there as a reminder for you to do the work, basically. So tools can be used to help bring forth what it is that you're trying to desire or manifest. So an altar is for anyone. Anyone can use an altar. Anyone can designate a space for their intentions. We are creating or exploring a abundance altar, a sacred space where you can bring forth the energy of money into your home. Okay. Sometimes we think about altars, we might get a little leery or afraid, or it might be taboo. We think about church, and then I immediately think about the altar boys and such, but it literally is a space that's not disturbed. If there are tons of candles there, that space is intentionally dressed and prepared for the intentions of that congregation, and it's to not be disturbed. And that's the same energy that you would like to bring into your home. So, what do you need to get started? A safe space with limited activity, a place where you can place a few small items that will not be disturbed, and a space you can visit regularly and attend to things as necessary. You want to make sure that if you have, let's say, because you can put a water bowl near your home, you want to make sure everything is functioning correctly. You know, if it's summertime, a fruit fly hasn't flied in it or anything like that. Maintain it so it's not dusty because you don't want your money to get old and dusty. You can put different items on there, but the idea is where it's not heavily trafficked, but you can attend to it. Go to it, set your intentions, be reminded of your purpose. Now, that brings me to what elements do you need? Water is great there because it allows flow. And then earth, I love the idea of wood with the feng shui, connecting that with earth because you can literally have a plant, you can have dirt, something that connects you to earth. In the water sense, you can have small little water fountains, table fountains with running water. We then tapped on stones in your water fountain or mountains based on what I believe it was your element that had, if it was mountains or I'm going back, sorry.
Oh yeah. So let's go back to balance. So
Because if something has mountain in your own personal, I wanted to say chart, but in your own personal gua, is it?
wow,
Then
yes.
you can go ahead and incorporate, say, a mountain water fountain in your abundance altar in that sacred space. So you can really pull in all the elements to really get things going, to really accelerate it.
I like that because like my element is metal, so I can put like a piece of jewelry on my altar
mm-hmm,
and a piece of
mm-hmm.
jewelry.
Bring in your own element. Yes. So,
Mhm.
and then you could also incorporate your own sun sign, your own sun astrological sign. If you're a water sign, for me, that's where the water fountain would come in. But then that idea, like Danny said, water like a flow, water going in flow, always replenishing, coming to you, this abundance flowing to you with ease, uninterrupted. So there's that. But if you are a fire sign, and then depending on, how you really want to set this up, because we talked about altars in general, but you can definitely use your own personal elements in your gua, your birth chart, on your manifestation abundance altar. Making it as personal as possible is key, because you wanted to come to you. You wanted to flow into your house. You wanted to flow in the way you need it to come. So, also, do we say, let me see, I'm just scrolling ahead. Okay, yeah. So, home areas to attract abundance. I don't know if you want to share there because we talked about the living room, kitchen, home office, and then you put a maybe a woe. So in the classroom in my teachings, these were things that were green lights. Those were goes. Living room, kitchen, home office, and the bathroom is what I would call a woe. Like maybe slow down, don't immediately go towards it, but tap in with self and trust your intuition if it flows. So the living room is a good place because of like family coming together, collectiveness, creativity. Same with home office. That's where you create, where you grow, expand. That's where you want to call in the money. The kitchen has that same energy of togetherness, mixing it all in, getting the right ingredient to make it flow to you. What creative things can you do to bring forth something that's going to nourish you? Sustainability, literally, like how that all ties in. And then the woe would be the bathroom, because in that spiritual realm of it, the think okay, so I thought about it afterwards. Let's think about um I guess this was a play on, as far back as I can recall. mm, I'm trying to keep it based to this, to my ancestors per se, locationality. If they were in the Northeast, you figure some of those buildings were built in the 1900s, so pipes did have a lifeline that would channel through and could go, so in one's mind it could go infinitelessly, like where do these pipes go? So it has that flow of abundance constantly flowing into you. But then you have this energy of closing the drains, right? And in the feng shui energy, I'm gonna give that to you because my unsolicited assistant, I'm sorry, is very demanding at the moment. So, Danny, if you want to share like why that the bathroom is like a
Yes.
whoa.
Yes. So the bathroom is kind of a woe in the feng shui because um, the idea of a drain is metaphorically like an energetic drain. So, we know that the water contains our energy, it holds our energy. And when the water is flowing down the drain, it is literally taking our energy away with it. And when we're washing ourselves and when we're relieving ourselves, that is what we want. But we don't want that to happen at times where we are not fully aware of it. So we talked about if you are going to have your altar in the bathroom, just make sure that you're keeping the toilet lids closed and your plugs in the sinks and the bathrooms, keeping those closed as well, so that you are not allowing for your energy to flow down the drain. And but yeah, I agree with Tiki. It is definitely an intuitive thing. If that is what you have available to you, then go ahead and do it. And again, thousands of years ago, was the bathroom even in the same area as our home? So that's a whole other thing to consider. It may have been an outhouse, it may have been a hole in the dirt in back of the house. So the bathrooms probably weren't even actually connected to the physical space when feng shui was created. So that is definitely something that um, it makes sense. And I could see like the pipeline and everything. So like you said, it's just all intuitive. Do whatever is available to you and feels good to you. So if it's having it in your bathroom feels good, then so be it. Just be aware that, you know, energetically and metaphorically, you can visualize the energy flowing down the drain. So it's not something that you want, especially if you're calling in abundance. You want to keep your abundance. You want to hold on to it. You want to capture it.
Absolutely. Don't want it going down the drain.
No, like literally throwing money in the toilet. You would never do that.
No. But if it's like the only place you can find uninterrupted, did we tap on that? Because like I have this work altar here, and my son would walk around with the figurines like they were little toys, and it's just like
They're action figures.
cringe. Yes, little action figures. So, if you can get a child lock on your bathroom, it's the only place. The energy knows that it's just a phase, right? It's not like you're
Absolutely.
committed to being there forever. No,
Exactly.
your child grows up, you upgrade, you move out the bathroom. And I also spoke with someone yesterday, as a matter of fact, who spoke about how the bathroom was a safe space because it kept it private for guests, so that they didn't have to explain what is this. So if you have your master bedroom with your master bathroom in your room, well, obviously you're not gonna have everybody in your room. You have a guest bathroom, right? So clearly that would not be the ideal space because that would be heavily interrupted. But in your own space, she has a teenage son, so it's like in her own bathroom was ideal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
And
again,
also, I mean,
intuition.
I like the
Hmm.
bathroom as a sacred space. You're taking your spiritual baths, your spiritual shower, so it would make sense to also have your spiritual tools. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
But remember, we still said all the positive and it's still a woe.
Yeah, so if you do have it set up there and you're noticing that, the money is draining, it's not coming in as fast as it's going out, then maybe that's something to consider. Just make sure
Hmm.
that you are keeping the lids of the toilet closed, keeping the
Hmm.
plugs in so that your energy is not flowing down. Just have to be
Yep.
more intentional about harnessing the energy.
Spirit just says sorry that would really drive someone to really stay focused. Like you
Okay.
cannot slip. You would have to be very ritualistic if you held that. So maybe
Mhm.
someone is being called to be that disciplined, where you literally have to come in, close, 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 then begin. And then, but to make that space where you're in a space where you don't want people to know, because it could be taboo. People hear altars, they're like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? Just bringing energy, just bringing life, just designating the space to money. So a plant in a designated space with your crystals around it, and just tell no one. It's your business.
Yes.
But if you're someone who's more open and has no, you got free range, bring it in. There's different varieties of plants there, snake plants, bamboo. I love mint as well. Um, I know that you mentioned African jade, money tree, peace lily, aloe vera. Just have your plant somewhere and tell no one.
Yes. And these are all pretty easy plants to sustain, low effort, low water. Um, I don't like to recommend plants that take a lot of energy, because if you're giving energy to something that you cannot nurture, then that is a sign of your growth is now going to fail. So definitely try to choose plants that you are capable of nurturing. And then we also spoke about how the different growth cycles, or the ways, the structural growth of these plants represents different yin and yang energies. So the bamboo, it's tall, it's sturdy, it goes straight up. It's a lot of structure and stability and upward growth. That's a really good plant to have for abundance. Any plant that grows up tall like a tree, the snake plant grows upwards. Plants that grow downwards, or the vining plants that grow down, those have more yin energy. So just based upon what your element is, the elements of your space, the elements that you're bringing into your money situation, be aware of the plant that you are bringing into to your altar space as well, making sure that it is going to balance and harmonize the energy that you're bringing forward. Plants that have rounded leaves have more yin energy. The plants that have spiky edges, like the aloe plant, like the snake plant, the money tree, those ones have more yang energy. So just think upward and spiky is yang, and then downward, vining, and round is yin. So that's also something to balance out on your own personal yin and yang energies as well. And then we talked about the mint, because that one is fun. I like that one because to me it just represents where where money is curated is in a mint. I grew up in Philadelphia. We had the mint that was like the yearly trip to the mint to see the bills and the coins made. So I just love that. So I have a big mint plant that is, I didn't plant it. It just grew like a weed. And
You
it
see,
was in
that's
the
how it is.
backyard. It was in the backyard,
Abundance.
somehow got in the front yard, and now it's just like taking over. So if anybody wants some mint, hit me up.
And we're all around the house. I definitely would take you up on that. And that's the thing. That's the way you want your money, like wildly growing, for you to then have to step up and make new plans to how to manage it. It comes
Yes.
to you so easily that it's in flow that you're like, okay, what do I need to do now? How do I invest it? How can I harvest it? Who can I share it with? You see, who can I donate it to? Like, that's the way you would want the money to flow to you. It's in such an abundance that you know what to do with it, and it's sharing. It's in
Yes.
such an abundance.
I
Yeah.
love that. And it also speaks to like the metaphors, because it's the metaphors are really heavy in Feng Shui, and it seems like the metaphors are, it's like very similar with the spirit, with the altars. It's what does it mean for you? Like what thought comes up when you think about this particular element or energy that you're bringing through? Whatever speaks to you. The crystals that attract abundance are green and yellow. It's jade and aventurine. It's citrine and pyrite. Just be aware that jade and citrine sometimes can not be authentic. They can be dyed quartz or other cheaper, not I don't want to say cheaper, but low quality crystals that they dye to look that way, and they're not actually the authentic source. If it matters to you, if you just want a green or a yellow crystal, then go for it. Just wanted
I
to
mean,
bring
at least if it's a quartz, hopefully it was originally a quartz and then it was dyed. Because I mean, quartz energy is still pretty awesome, but there are a lot
yes,
that they'll just call it that. And you want to be on the lookout for that.
absolutely. The colors that attract abundance, again, the green, the yellow, the gold. There's definitely a trend within the green and gold. It's money, it's, gold jewelry, it's wealth, it's regal. Purple is very regal. It is the color that back in the day only royals could adorn. Red as well. It's a very bright, energizing, uplifting, stimulating color. It's something that you want to add to your energy to make sure that you are getting fired up about getting this money. I really like the palette. I really like it. I keep looking at it. It's like it's given very like Mardi Gras for me. Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
I like that.
it is. That is really nice.
The symbols that you can bring in to your home and to your altars to attract abundance are peacocks, peacock feathers, live peacocks feathers. Don't take them directly from the peacock. But if we were talking yesterday, if you are Floyd Lamb Park has a lot of peacocks, so if you just so happen to see a peacock feather, they have the green color. There's the blue color, the purple. It's very regal. It's an elegant bird. It's a regal, elegant, prominent bird for abundance. And the red Chinese lanterns are very much for luck and prosperity. Every lunar Chinese New Year, they have the big festivals with the lanterns so that you can have a prosperous and lucky year. The laughing Buddha, specifically, the happy one, the big fat laughing Buddha is the one if you're going to bring in a Buddha into your space. And the elements of a river. So if you're not able to have a fountain or a water source, a picture or a piece of art of a river. Also, the colors blue and black do represent water, but in this sense, it's better to have the actual element. But if you don't, you can definitely bring in something that's black or blue as well. And then let's talk about the ancestor money, because that one I think is really good information to have. Where can you get the ancestor money? How do you use the ancestor money?
Okay, so this ancestor money, I have a piece here. This one is not real. It says copy on it. This is copy on the back here. And the energy of fake money would be to help you have that something tangible to hold, where you could simulate that money to help you manifest it. I keep it like right here in the drawer here. And wow, I've got all this money. It's not real, but it will call in that energy, because it's not the money that, like, again, we're not worshiping it. It is symbolism. It's to bring your awareness. It could possibly motivate you to get up and do that plan that you've been working on that you didn't. My son is shushing me, sorry. Or get that plan done that you didn't think you were going to get to, but then you see that money there. Money is a symbolism. Money is energy. And so this almost real money can symbolize money. I got this off of Amazon. I'm hoping to carry it very soon as well. You can take
Okay.
coins,
Carry it
change.
on Etsy at Tiki's Custom.
I probably would, yeah. Listen here, sir. And then change, you can use actual change, or you can use, they make play money as well. There's a whole kit where you can get singles, $5 bills, tens, 50s, hundreds, and fake coins. They bring forth that energy of what the real money is. Money is energy. It's a currency to be used. It's a tool. It's not the end all be all. So if you got simulated, that'll be just as easy to bring in the real thing. So I'm a big fan of ancestor money. And no, I'm leaving right there. And then water fountains, honestly, they've made those so accessible. You can find those at like the 99 plus. They may not be the quietest, but you can find little small I've seen one in a little box like that, $5.99, where you can have a small water fountain, or you can go even bigger, flowing water apparatuses, fish tanks. Okay, because like depending on what you have to hold your fish tank, you could then have your abundance altar above or below it or near it, and then you still have that flowing water in your home. I don't know how that might go with feng shui of your house, but that flowing water can be simulated through a tank, a fish tank, or I have turtles and fish, and I'm a water sign. So it's always constantly running water sounds in my house. It's like, what is going on? But
It's very
that flow, it's that flow of water. What is it,
I
honey?
wonder if like a diffuser, because it uses water, even though it turns it into a vapor, but it is still clean water. You have to keep refilling it. So maybe that could be something.
And then it does have a drop. It does create a drip.
Yeah.
It creates a vapor.
Yeah.
Definitely have a flow of moisture there. Yeah. So
Okay.
flowing water is definitely great.
I'm going to go back to the presentation. Okay. And oh, that's the end. Look at that. Okay. So, well, I will open up the floor for any questions. So I have a feng shui briefing if you want to learn more about your gua. If you put your gua information in there and it said that you were a gua 7 energy and you got that information and you want to learn more about it, you want to understand more about the home direction and what does that mean, your personal direction, what does that mean, where are your most favorable and least favorable locations within your home, where should your ideal bedroom space be, your home office space be? Where should you ideally put your abundance altar to bring in the most success? I will do a briefing report with all of the information laid out for you, with a little map of taken from Google Maps of your home, and lay the bagua over it. And I will point out to you exactly where in your home you should put those elements. If you book here with this link and use the code spiritual, I offer that for $49 for the members of this container only. And let me know. I'm definitely here to be of service. If you need any more Feng Shui questions, color questions, placement questions, I am happy to be of service.
I love that. I'm super excited that you're offering that, because I think that's an awesome opportunity to look into more about person, learn more about self, learn more about how you can create the ideal space for yourself to feel your best, to be at your ultimate performance by diving into that. So that is super exciting.
Thank you.
Danny pointed out that I have a Remove Abundance Blockages blog post where you can check that out to manifest more abundance for yourself, remove thoughts and stigma around abundance. And I do offer Ancestor Altar guidance. I do have a YouTube video there, but I also offer one-on-one assistance in that area as well. So if you're interested in that, I do offer that, as well as intuitive readings and channeling and workshops and rituals and spiritual jewelry as well. So I would love to connect if anyone was interested in that regard as well.
Excellent. Okay. See this one, please. Can you hear that?
Mm-mm.
Can't hear it? Oh, weird. I don't know why you can't hear it. Okay, well, watch it later then. You guys couldn't hear it yesterday either?
Mm-mm.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I went with it. I was like, I'll definitely open that up later.
Okay, I will say that later. It is Bruce Lee talking about being water. So how water is formless, it's shapeless, but if you be like water, you can flow, you can be aggressive and crash, you can be molded into whatever vessel of containment you so choose. So, as we were talking about so much water and abundance, and if you just imagine yourself to be the water, be the abundance, then you can do anything and be anything you want to be. So that's what that was. So while we were talking this last Q&A, I was just pulled my little card. This is my simplicity deck that I use for my clients. And I pulled a card, and the one that came out for us was the, see, it has 9 cups. You see that? Isn't that good for us? This is like an abundance card.
Nice.
So happy.
Wish fulfilled.
Wish is fulfilled. We are in abundance. So just by taking this course, you have abundance. This represents positive energy, contentment, fulfillment, satisfaction, deep senses of happiness. This is creating this home sanctuary that supports and nurtures your needs, your family's needs, just abundance and truly feeling comfortable and at home within your space and within yourself. So infinite gratitude and blessings and abundance within your homes.
Yes.
I love that for us. So this concludes this space. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I really hope that you enjoyed this course. Let us know if you have any ideas for some other ones in the future. I think just in this dialogue, we got some ideas for some other future ones that we would probably love to have. You can find us on Instagram by Danny Sinclair, Tiki's Customs on all platforms. And if there's anything that you want to know, just please hit us up. We would love your feedback. Thank you so much. And we will be sending out the link shortly.
Thank you.